Hello, Facebook. Turn myself up here for a second. Hi! So this is my final week on my wellness cleanse, and I just finished it. Well, technically it's through the end of the day, and tomorrow will be officially my cheat. I'll get to cheat tomorrow, I guess. But this week is called the Restore Week. Hey, MJ. Just sharing about my last week on the cleanse. So this week is called the Restore Week, and you cut back on protein and you cut back on carbs. Hey, Kat. And there's no grains, like zero, like no rice, no corn, no quinoa, no millet, like nothing, like no grains. And that's what made this the hardest week for me, was because I'm a carboholic and I could have no grains. And so you're basically eating just fruits and vegetables for 7 days in a row. And the idea behind it is you've cleared out your gut with week 2, which is the detox week. So I really cleared out my gut using the detox supplement. And then this week we used one supplement called Revitalize to reintroduce the good bacteria. But the idea is you can have less protein, you can have less carbs, you can have less calories, because now you can really absorb the nutrients from the fruits and vegetables, because your system is so cleared out. Because when we have things like meat and dairy and carbs and things that get stuck in your digestive tract, that's what really stops you from absorbing the nutrients of nutrient-dense food. So that's the idea behind the detox process. And so in this 3rd week, you're really just staying in that detox mode so that you can get all those good nutrients from the fruit and veg. So hey Chris, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm really proud of myself that I finished the whole thing and didn't cheat. So thank you so much. I have to say though, I didn't stick to the menu, meaning if they told me to eat the jicama avocado salad, I didn't necessarily eat the jicama avocado salad, but I ate something within the guidelines of the cleanse. So if they're telling me that I should have, a raw salad, and say it was the microgreen salad, which was, cucumbers and tomatoes and jicama and all these veggies, basically a topping salad that you put all together with all these veggies. Maybe I didn't eat that salad, but I did eat raw fruits and veggies. So that's kind of how I kept my mind right throughout this whole week, because it was really challenging. So I knew if I just stayed within the guidelines of what the food group was within that meal, I'd be okay. And during the days this week for breakfast, it was, hey Myra, for breakfast it was just fruit, which I loved because I can just eat 3 cups of fruit for a day. I'm cool with that. And then lunch was some kind of raw salad. I had a lot of trouble with the cabbage salad. That was really the only meal that I ate that made me feel ill throughout this whole time, and I think it's just because cabbage is really hard to digest. It's something I've had trouble with linked to my IBS before, so it was just too much. And then at night it was usually a cooked raw meal. So for example, tonight, hey Auntie Shannon, so tonight I had, it was sauteed kale with mushrooms and green peppers, and I used a curry kind of seasoning to it, made in some coconut oil with some hemp seeds on top, and that was totally satisfying and fulfilling, and really just hearty and felt good. So even though I'm eating only fruits and vegetables, I was still satisfied. And like I said, the only supplement I took this week that was extra was the Revitalize, which introduced the good bacteria, because in week 2, the detox week, that can't tell the good from the bad bacteria. It just zoop, wipes out all the bacteria in your gut. So then this week they bring in that Revitalize so that you can start to have more of the probiotics and prebiotics in your system. Hey Jen, hey Ashley. So yeah, so that's what I did. I didn't work out maybe once the whole week, and I'm not feeling guilty about it because my body was working really hard, doing this detox thing. I didn't really feel like I needed it, other than walking the dog. I just didn't stress about it. If you guys know me, I work out because I feel really good afterwards, and it's good for my body, and I want to be a healthy person. It's good for my mind, and helps me push past my limits every day, and that's why I work out. But I am not like in love with starting a 2-hour workout every day. That's just not me. I'm much more of a foodie on that side of things. So to cut out the working out, like I am excited to get like more active and start moving more. But at the same time, like to have 3 weeks without it, well, really a week and a half was the last week and a half was when I stopped working out. It wasn't super hard. It actually felt kind of good to just let my body rest for a while. But I did start some new like Ayurveda practices. If you know about Ayurveda, it's kind of the medicinal side of yoga. So you should, if you want some info on it, I'd love to like send you some because I'm obsessed with it. And so I did a couple new Ayurveda practices this week. I did this, some of you may do this like naturally, but when you take a shower and it's really, really hot, at the end of the shower, I would blast it on cold, and it just kind of like wakes up all your senses, and it's just like your whole body just like tingles, and it feels really good. And some people think that's crazy and insane, and that's like cool, like you do you, but it really helped me just like feel like awake and alive, and like felt really good. And then after that, I'd get out of the shower and I'd do self-massage with sesame oil. So just like not toasted sesame oil, just regular sesame oil. And the idea is like you're doing long strokes going towards your heart or over your whole body. And it's just like super soothing and relaxing and moisturizing and kind of like luxurious in a way, even though it's just sesame oil. And it just kind of helps like your blood circulate and just like, I don't know, it was part of the healing process for me. So that was really important. I'm going to stick with those. But now I'll share, hey Amber, I'll share with you guys some of my results. So scale victories and non-scale victories. I don't have my final ending results. I'm going to put a blog post up tomorrow about it. Because technically I measured in the morning to start, so I need to measure in the morning on my end. But I've lost at least 5 pounds and at least 2 inches off my waist. And for me, like, that means I'm at my goal weight. Every body has kind of a natural stopping place. Like, your body's not going to let you lose more weight than you need unless you're, like, taking really unhealthy measures. And so, like, where I'm at right now is my goal weight. Like, I don't need to be any less than this. In fact, am excited to build my strength from this place of, like, having a pure body because, now, I don't know if I lost any muscle weight. I didn't lose a ton for sure, but like, because I know where I lost them on my waist too, so I'm hoping it all came from there. But, like, your body has, sometimes people worry, like, if I do a cleanse, even like this gentle cleanse, which you eat all the time, it's not like a crazy juice cleanse. Even if you're doing a gentle cleanse, they're worried, like, I'm going to lose a ton of weight and it's going to be unhealthy, I'm going to gain it all back. But if you do it right, your body, like, hits that natural stopping point, and then, like, that's your healthy weight, that's your happy weight, that's where you stay, and, like, that's where I am, and I was not there a month ago. So I'm really happy to be where I am. And the 2 inches off my waist, like, I still have toning to do in there. I'm going to share pictures tomorrow on my blog, but, like, still have some toning and work, and, like, gotta get back into the crunches thing. But that's okay. Like, that's okay. Hey, Jenna. But more importantly, like, non-scale victories, how do I feel? And you guys, like, this, I was waiting this whole time. I was like, when is the energy going to kick in? Like, everybody says you do this cleanse and you have these, like, great spike of energy. And I'm thinking, when is it going to happen for me? And it happened in the 3rd week. So about halfway through this 3rd week, I had felt, on some days, in weeks 1 and day 2, in some days, I'd felt like this massive zoom of energy. And then there were other days where I would just crash. If you watched one of my previous videos, day 3 of week 1 and day 3 of week 2, I literally was like a flipping zombie. I like woke up tired. My mom was like, what is wrong with you? Looked crazy. But this 3rd week, I kind of like was slow and steady in the beginning, and then on day 3 it really spiked, and I've just had a lot of energy this whole week, and it feels really good. I'm feeling really positive. I don't know how much of that has to do with just the food or also the fact that, like, I'm feeling really proud of myself that I didn't even have, like, a single Frito this whole time, and, like, really proud of that, but feeling really positive, really happy, really confident. You know, the fact that, like, hey, Kimberly, the fact that I was at the beach, didn't cheat, hey, Brittany Brown, that I was at the beach, didn't cheat, had to get in my bikini, and felt the most confident I've ever felt in the bikini. Like, that was remarkable. Like, I'm a woman. We all struggle with body image issues. Like, we all do. Like, you just can't not. with all the things surrounding us. But to like feel really happy and healthy at a happy, healthy weight with my body, with how I was feeling about myself, is just like something I'm going to carry with me and like continue to build on. So that was, I mean, probably the best thing out of this whole shebang. So moving forward, thinking about what I'm going to do next, I definitely like, I'm going to get back into working out, like, because I need to do it to be healthy and happy, even though sometimes it's really hard to start. Most days it's really hard to start. So I think I'm going to finish the yoga program because I didn't finish it. And I want to like actually finish it and make yoga part of like my daily practice. But more importantly, what am I going to do with nutrition? Because it's really easy to like follow recipes in a meal plan given to you. Hey Jill, it's super easy to follow recipes given to you. For me, you know, I learned so much. I had so many lessons in nutrition throughout this whole thing. I learned how to cook vegan and like do it well. Actually, I'm going to stay vegan. I haven't said that yet. I'm going to stay vegan. Like I'm officially a vegan now. Before I was eating fish and eggs, and that was like my 2 animal proteins, and I'm just cutting them. I'm done. Because I feel so much better, and it's better for the environment and the animals in the world, so like win-win-win all around. And I learned I had this self-control that I didn't know I had before, because I literally, like you guys, like for me to binge eat an entire bag of tortilla chips is not a rare occasion. I was actually talking to my roommate from college, Megan, and I was like, girl, I binge eat tortilla chips, like this is big for me, you know? And she's like, I remember you doing that, like sitting on the couch and having a go at a bag, and like still, like, I've done it since I moved to Richmond. Like that is how it's been, that behavior has been in my life. So the fact that I had to say no and just like say no to all carbs for an entire week, like not even quinoa and like the healthy carbs. Thanks, Kat. Like that is massive. That's huge. But the problem is when it comes to the idea of moderation, because it was really easy for me to say like, oh, it's almost like a rule. Like, no, Jasmine, you're not allowed to have X, Y, Z. Hey, Sarah Han. You're not allowed to have X, Y, Z. Like, you're not allowed to have tortilla chips. You're not allowed to have chocolate. You're not allowed to have blah, blah, blah. So even when I went to dinner with my family and they brought out the dessert tray and it was tempting, it was almost like just a mindset switch in my head of like, you're just not allowed. Like, it's a rule. You're not allowed. But now, this whole idea of moderation, and I have a lot of nutritionist friends who say, yeah, like everything in moderation, but what the hell does that mean? Because there's so many conflicting ideas about it. Does moderation mean, you know, a glass of wine? Like, because some people would consider a glass of wine moderation, but a glass of wine every single day, that's not moderation, you know, or, you know, chocolate and like treats, like, having a chocolate treat a couple times a week, sure. But does that mean like a massive entire Snickers bar and a huge brownie sundae? Or does that mean like a mini bar? And you know what I mean? So it's just, for me, this whole kind of last part of my week has been about figuring out what moderation looks like to me. So I think I'm going to try and stick to 2 treats a week. And keeping that idea of like keeping the carbs under control, since that's my biggest weakness. And that means like, so for example, for this upcoming week, I did get tortilla chips because I've said that like a million times. I'm really excited about our tortilla chips, you guys. I'm really, really excited. So I got some of those, but I got them no salt. That's something I never would have done before. But now it doesn't seem hard anymore. It's like, oh, well, okay, I can get no salt, like that's no problem. The issue for me is going to come in having, you know, the serving size and not having more. So that's my kind of next habit to conquer. And I also got, oh my gosh, I got this pumpkin fig granola that I'm so excited about to have over banana and ice cream. But for me, the challenge will be like having the serving size of granola, but not having like the entire bag of granola, right? Okay, so you're seeing my bad habit here. So that's what, like, that's my next big hurdle to overcome. And I did recognize my patterns in emotional eating. And if you guys have some of these, like, please let me know so I don't feel alone up here. Hey, Ellen. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Amanda. Man, I haven't talked to you in forever. Hey, Amanda. So yeah, so if you have these, like, please let me know. So my first one was I eat when I'm nervous, which I didn't recognize that before. Like, I knew I ate when I was stressed. That was something I had already triggered in my brain to recognize, like, Jasmine, you're not actually hungry right now. You're just stressed about, like, meeting this deadline or doing this thing. But I didn't realize that I eat when I'm nervous. Like, if I get an email that makes me nervous, not necessarily stressed, just, like, a little on edge, I'll, like, start walking downstairs to go get whatever. So that was a big emotional eating pattern that I didn't realize. And I also recognized that when I go to eat, thanks Ashley, yay, I'm not alone. The other thing I recognized is when I go to eat, I'm already starving. And in the program, you have to take the supplements half an hour before you eat. So I got into this rhythm and routine of, like, take supplements, okay, now go make food, and by the time the food's ready, then you're actually hungry. Which for me was like this beautiful, because now I didn't have to, like, figure out convenience. I just had to figure out, like, okay, I can eat something healthy because I have time to make it before I'm, like, ravenous and hangry, you know? So that was a big one. Hey, Meredith. Kat says, I'm the worst emotional eater. Yeah, girl. Thank you. I am not alone. Appreciate it. So that was another big one. And then my last big emotional eating issue was, I said at the beginning of this, like, I think I posted like 3 times. Hey, Molly. Like, Cadbury runs in my veins, right? Because I'm English and I eat chocolate all the time and it's like my thing, right? But I recognize, like, the chocolate was so much easier to cut. I wasn't even craving it by week 2, especially because I have my shake, right? And so I wasn't even craving it. But the carbs, I had, like, fierce cravings for carbs, like fierce cravings. And so I recognized the cycle between the sugar and the carbs, and the fact that breaking the cycle for me was not breaking the sugar cycle, it was breaking the carb cycle. So once I broke the carb cycle, then the sugar cycle, like, poof, was gone. So knowing that moving forward is going to be super helpful for me, because just recognizing what my cravings are so that I can, like, shift my mindset around it rather than just giving in and indulging. You know, like, I'm super empowered by my discipline. Like, I knew moving forward I can figure out what that moderation is. And I'm going to fail a lot, and that's okay. But this was really, like, the reset, the clean, pure body I needed. It's almost like foolproof, you guys. You just follow the recipes. Right? It's like you just literally XYZ, whatever they tell you, you do it. That's a lot easier, I think, to figure out than, like, to figure out the gray space. So I'm going to try and figure out some habits in the gray space. You know, if I get 2 treats a week, maybe one of them is always chocolate on Fridays, right? And I had a few people ask me, like, well, who would you recommend this to? Like, would you recommend this to me? And there's really only, like, 3 or 4 kinds of people I'd recommend it to. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's really good for anybody who doesn't want to work out. Because you don't have to work out. You just have to work on your nutrition. And it's really good for anyone who wants to get control over their emotional eating. Because you're not given a choice. You have to follow the plan. And when you follow the plan, you figure out where your emotional eating, like, gaps are. And it's really good for people who want to kickstart their health. Meaning, like, you know, hey, Emma. Like, maybe you haven't worked on your health journey yet. It just hasn't been a thing that your family instilled in you. It wasn't a thing that you were ever worried about. Maybe you're like me and you only figured it out when you got sick. And if that's the case, then, like, this is a good starting place for you. If you need to figure out an elimination diet, or, you know, you just don't know where to begin, this is a really good place to start. And it's also really good to get over a plateau. Because it's gonna, you know, how do you get over a plateau? You shake up your system, and this shakes up your system in terms of nutrition. So, yeah, that's it. Hey, Sammy. So, thanks you guys so much for joining. I'm sorry for you guys who just hopped on. I just finished all these words and all this talking, but please let me know if you know, watch this playback and let me know, like, if you can relate to any of this, and also if you're considering it, if you're thinking, like, it sounds cool, but I don't know if it's for me, just let me know and I'll share some more, and I'll let you catch my blog tomorrow so you can see, like, pictures, the nitty-gritty kind of stuff. Alright, thanks so much, y'all. Talk soon.